Bella Padilla did it again. The actress's latest movie, yung Libro, Napanood Ko, is one of the entries in the first summer Metro Manila Film Festival. But Bella didn't just act here. She actually wrote the script and also directed the film. This is the second film that she's directed following last year's movie 366. Now, I got to speak with Bella before the film hit the theaters last weekend, and she told me the inspiration behind the film and her experience of being in charge both on screen and behind the camera.
I shot this film last year in October. 30% of the film was shot in Manila and the rest was shot in Seoul.
Yes.
And I didn't know that Boss Vic and Viva had sent the finished product to the summer MMFF. So I thought this film will come out later in the year. So I think it was a little bit of a surprise for me. Yes, I wrote it because of a series I watched. So this is the reason why the title is yung Libro sa Napanood Ko, because it was a working title. I just needed to mark the script with something. And I literally was watching a K-drama called Because This Is My First Life.
That.
Diba?
So cute.
And I loved that the whole series didn't have an antagonist. There was no major problem, no major twist. It was just the journey of four main characters. And they kept talking about this book, which was To Room 19 by Doris Lessing. And I ended up buying a copy for myself, and I loved the short stories in it. But I got super fixated on that one story of the mother that they kept talking about in the drama, of this mother looking for her place in the world because she felt like she was defined only as a mother and a wife, and she forgot who she was. So she ended up going to a hotel far from their home, and she would always get the room 19. So she would always get the key for room 19. And her husband allowed her to have like a day in the week where she would just be in room 19 and gather her thoughts and I guess fill her cup in a sense before she would, serve her family again. And I realized we have so much OFWs in the Philippines, and I would say most of them that I've met abroad doing TFC shows are moms. Most of them are women. And sadly, when we watch the news and we hear about OFWs, we always see, I guess, the worst case scenario already, and it's very vivid. Like they show us pictures, they show us images, but we never actually consider, we never talk about what it's like to be an OFW and what's in their heads while they're there. The guilt of not taking care of your own children. There's also the shame factor of being what they are abroad. There's just so many topics that I feel we avoid because we look at them and they're always called heroes of our country. But we don't ask them how tired they are, what they're actually experiencing. So I felt like I wanted to do a story about a mother looking for her own room 19 in the world, but to use the OFW spin. So
this is a story about you. I mean, you're a writer here, so how does that... Okay, go on.
Okay, sorry. So Miss Lorna Tolentino, who plays my mom, she's an OFW in Korea. Her character is an OFW in Korea. And so we tried to touch on, I guess, the more sensitive topics of the mental state of OFWs. So, yeah.
Okay, so that is also the first time you've worked with Lorna.
Yes, it was amazing. Can I just say it was crazy? I was fangirling every day. And she's such a mom, like she's such a sweet, sweet person. She would bring everybody food on set. I mean, it was convenient for all of us to feed ourselves. We could, but she was just that mother hen who took care of everyone. She would always have snacks in her bag or like an extra bottle of juice for anyone who's feeling tired. She's such a nice person. She's very gracious with information she knows on acting, on being on set. You can tell that she comes from a totally different discipline of actors before really, really took their craft so seriously, and I love that. I love that so much.
You worked with her, and then you had a Korean actor on set. Let me see, Yeon Min-gon. Yoo Min-gon. How did you choose him, and what was it like working with him?
Okay, initially we were...
Was it like a dream? I mean, have you ever always wanted to work?
Honestly, yes. If I could just speak fluent Korean, I feel like I would live in Korea because it's so beautiful there. And honestly, the progress of their entertainment industry and actually all their sectors have just been booming so much skincare, like beauty, fashion, entertainment, every aspect, like technology. I feel like they really know what they're doing. And I could tell also by Mingon's performance here in the film, he never second guessed himself, which is amazing. He's so sure of what he's doing that it's kind of I don't know, I feel like he's so self-aware, so it's really inspiring.
And he's still an up-and-coming actor.
Actually, this is his first major film.
Yes.
So
And he's already so sure of himself.
yeah, galing, exactly. Like I feel like I've been doing this forever and I still second guess myself all the time. But yeah, initially we had two actors that were being presented to us here in the Philippines. And we were doing Zoom calls. I was in London and my producer was here. And it just felt like something was missing. I couldn't see the character of Gunho and the actors we were auditioning. And then, so I did a film in Korea in 2020 for Amazon Prime. And there was an actress I worked with there who I became super close to. And it was really like a last resort thing. I texted her, I was like, Gion, do you know any Korean actor that speaks perfect English who can start filming in 2 weeks? So I felt like it was such a desperate call already. And she's like, actually, yes, I worked with someone. He grew up in Canada. Why not? Like, I'll send you his number. And then we got in touch, and he was so confident because there were two characters that he could vie for. So it was the lead character and the best friend. So I was like, we have two at the moment, and to be transparent, we have other actors, wanting this role. And he's like, no, I think I can do the lead role.
Was there more pressure doing this? This is not your directorial debut. You did your 366 and you wrote for that as well. And this is another one. Was it just like smooth sailing? I want to do another one?
No, it's never smooth sailing. Never, ever. Like 366.
Less pressure? More pressure?
More pressure here because I didn't have Direct Irene Villamor with me here. She was my creative director in 366. So this is the first film that I felt like I was completely alone. But no film is easy, honestly. It was insane. 18 of us tested positive for COVID because one person
This
didn't.
is for the 366.
For 366, like there was one person on set who didn't tell us that she was positive, and we all got it. So we had to stop production, and I felt so bad because Christmas was coming. We were all in quarantine until December 26th, so none of us got to spend Noche Buena with our families, and I felt like it was all my fault. Like you're constantly beating yourself up over it. And it was the same for this film. There's so many things that go wrong before one thing goes right.
Yeah.
I guess with all of those things happening, you're able to fix it right away. I mean, you kind of know what to do. With script writing, how did that start for you? Do you always like to direct the movies that you write the script for?
I've never been offered to direct anyone else's material, but I would actually love to try because I know this is my forte, like these kinds of stories.
It is your forte.
I feel like this is what I like writing, but I would love to direct like a thriller or something different, just different from what I know also. So it's still challenging. I think that's one of the reasons I left the Philippines because I felt like all the roles that were being given to me I've already done before. It's funny, Christine, I feel like everything that's happened in my life happened out of necessity. So like writing, I've always loved reading since I was a child. I'm the youngest. My next sibling is 9 years older than me. So books were my siblings. Like I felt like books were my playmates. So I think writing came in at a time where I had friends who were shooting a film. Yeah, I remember I had friends who were shooting a film and the writer disappeared. And they didn't have the ending. So they asked, could you kind of tie everything together and write the ending for us? And I just said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And I didn't get any credit for it.
No formal training as well.
No.
You said, yeah, just write a script.
Let's try. Well, at that time, I was already acting on the side. So I knew what the script would look like. I knew the format. I knew what people look for, I guess, in a script. So I started writing for them. On the side, I would write sometimes for Manila Bulletin, for Mega Magazine. So I did a few articles here and there. And then, it started from that, from little things, friends needing help.
Okay, so will this be the trend? I mean, will you continue to write scripts and direct and act, possibly doing different genres, different things? Or you can say, I'm just going to stick to acting. I'm going to go back to London. I mean, where do you see yourself? There seems to be so much on your plate.
I know. I honestly, I get scared on some days because I feel like I'm trying to do too much all at once, and everybody's telling me, like my mentors are telling me, like, slow down. You feel like you're in a rush. But yeah, like for directing, it also felt like I had to do it during the pandemic because I was thinking of my friends. I was thinking of the cameramen I used to work with, the PAs, the producers I used to work with. I felt like, okay, it's the first year of the pandemic. We all lost our jobs when ABS-CBN closed down too. How do I help you guys out? Like, how do we have Christmas this year? Which is so ironic because we didn't. But how do we put food on the table for your Noche Buena? So we all just started talking and we're like, do you want to shoot this film? Like, I have a script existing at the moment. I sent it over to them. I was like, do you guys think we can do it? Considering that part of the film was shot in Turkey, and we didn't know yet if we were going to be able to fly. Like, there were so many big question marks. Like when I said earlier that nothing went right, even just the flight on the way to Turkey, my lead actor's passport expired.
Well, we hope that you continue to make more memorable stories as your movie sa Yung Libro. Yes, I know. I mean, I do have a hard time with that title, but it is coming out for the inaugural summer Metro Manila.
It stars introducing Yoo Min-gon, a South Korean actor who's very talented. I feel like if I did my job well, I hope he at least gets nominated for this because he's so good.
You keep saying that. I mean, you must have been so impressed with him.
Not just me, everyone was clapping. Like, after his scenes, we were literally clapping. I really hope he gets something out of this. So yeah.
Well, thank you, and I hope you do too.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing your story with us here on CNN Philippines.